Yo, peace was good. Welcome to the next song, my CD collection. This is part 112. Let's get right to it. I want to give a big shout out to my dude, Killer Tapes 93 out of Fresno, California. These first four CDs he blessed me with. I got these a while back, so without further ado, let me show you the first album. Excuse me. It is Too Short with his I want to say this is his fifth album or sixth album, Get In Where You Fit In. This is released in 1993. You guys should know who Too Short is. I showed you guys a couple of his albums in the past and that kind of thing. Yeah, this is came out in 93, like I said before. There's two singles off the album. The singles I'm known for are I'm a Player and Money in the Ghetto. Pretty dope songs right there. Standout tracks for me are Don't Fight, the intro, Just Another Day, Gotta Get Some Lovin', The Dangerous Crew, Way Too Real, It's All Good, and Oakland Style. Funny story with this album. This is around the time that him and MC Pooh, aka Pooh Man, had beef. They were kind of going at each other. And you can hear that in the song, the self-titled track, Get In Where You Fit In, where they're just going in on MC Pooh or Pooh Man, because I've mentioned it before. I showed you guys Pooh Man's second out or what? Yeah, his second studio album. Judgment Day that came out in '93, and through that whole album, he's dissing Too Short and the Dangerous Crew, and they Too Short goes in on him too. Like, you know, he's talking about how you think you're a hardcore gangster, you could be in CB4 or some shit like that. And like he talks about how he thinks he eats mad pussy and like making fun of the Funky As He Wanna Be album cover that, you know, he put out in '92. So I thought that was pretty interesting. It actually features rapper Ron and Ant Dilly, I think that was his name. And they actually and from what I heard, based on what Pooh Man said in the interview on WCNN, him and Rapper Ron actually met in the streets and they actually got into a fight. And from what I heard, Pooh Man beat up Rapper Ron. And I want to say rest in peace to Rapper Ron. Rapper Ron actually died in a car accident back in '96. So rest in peace to him. So unfortunately, they never squashed the beef. But from what I understand, Too Short and Ant Banks, and Spice One, they all pieced up and they're all cool now. So I thought that's pretty cool. That's cool for, you know, West Coast hip hop, just hip hop in general. So pretty cool. But yeah, that's just pretty much my thought on this album. Very dope album, very, very dope. I highly recommend it. Definitely one of his best albums. I know Mike says this is his favorite album. I can't be mad at that. It's a really good album. So far, like, Cocktails would have to be like one of my favorite albums. It's not my all-time favorite, but it's actually one of them. Really, really dope. But yeah, Get In When You Fit In by Too Short, released in 1993. Another one is still on the West Coast side of things. One Life to Live by Sibo, released in 1997. This is his third album. Really, really dope album. Really like this album a lot. The only single off this album is Club Hoppin', which there is a video for you can find on YouTube. Very dope. To me, it's still as good. It's still good as the first two albums, Gas Chamber and Tales from the Crypt, which I showed a while back. Yeah, very good album. Still has like that darkness of, you know, Tales from the Crypt, but, you know, a little lighter, but not as dark, but it's still dark. You know, the standout tracks for me are Riding on My Bumper. That's really dope. I Can't See the Light. Living Like a Hustler Part 2. Interesting thing about Living Like a Hustler Part 2 is the same song as Living Like a Hustler that was on the Best on the Sibo compilation that he dropped in '95, that same year of Tales from the Crypt. But the thing with this, the Best of Sibo, is like a greatest hit song, quote unquote. But it has like exclusive tracks, like songs that's not on the albums or anything like that. So it's good to have. And I don't know if it's just my copy, but my copy, of Living Like Hustlers, it has like like it skips on that in that song, and I think when I heard that song on I want to say on YouTube, it kind of had the same thing. So I don't know if that was like a manufacturing error. So at least he was cool enough to put it on this album, but he just called it Part 2. But it's the exact same song as the one on that compilation that I just mentioned. So just let you guys know that. But either way, one of my favorite songs. I love that song, Living Like a Hustler. Love the beat for that. That should have been a single, in my personal opinion. Getting back to this album, Living Like a Hustler, I'm Gonna Get Mine, Break 'Em Off, and Survival First. Those are the standout tracks for me. Love this album, really dope. Just as good as the first two, in my opinion. Definitely need to get my hands on the Autopsy EP. Definitely need to get my hands on that, but that goes for a little bit of money. But yeah, glad I own it. Dope Bay Area hip hop, Sacktown, Sacramento. You know what I mean? But yep. I believe this is out of print as well. So, SIBO, One Life to Live, released in 1997. Next album, I'm so glad I got this. Once again, shout out to my dude, Killer Tapes 93. He blessed me with this joint right here, with Extra Prolific, Like It Should Be. It's released in 1994. Extra Prolific is a hip hop duo out of Oakland, California. Known for being part of Hieroglyphics crew. You know what I mean? Very dope. You know, Souls of Mischief, Casual. You know, all them cats, man. Very, very dope album. Very dope. Very underrated. If you guys like Souls of Mischief 93 to Infinity, then I think you definitely would like this album. A little bit more on the funkier side of things, but very, very dope. The singles off this album are Brown Sugar. That was a single off the album. I believe there is a video on YouTube for that. Definitely check it out. Standout tracks for me are Brown Sugar, the single, In Front of the Kids, Sweet Potato Pie, Cash Money, One Motion, First Sermon, Now What, It's Alright. In 20 minutes, probably gotta be my favorite song off the album. Go Back to School, the Fat Outro. Pretty much the whole album is dope. But my favorite song would have to be In 20 Minutes. That's probably like my favorite song off the album. Very, very, very dope album. I rarely hear people talk about this album when it comes to, you know, the Hieroglyphics crew. They always talk about Souls of Mischief and, you know, stuff like that, or Casual. But they never talk about this album, which is pretty sad. Unfortunately, this is the only album they ever dropped. But very good. Extra Prolific consists of two members, Snoop and Mike G. Those are the singles of that. Those are the two members of the group. But if you can find it, definitely pick it up. It goes for decent money online. It's not something that'll break your pockets, but if you guys like that old school hieroglyphic sound, then I would highly recommend getting this album. This is Extra Prolific with Like It Should Be, released in 1994. Very dope album. Highly slept on, in my opinion. Got the Granddaddy That You in the background. It's another album I need to get. The Smooth Assassin. Definitely need to get my hands on that. Next album is the last album by Killer Tapes 93. I'm gonna give a big shout out to him for that. It is Notorious B.I.G with his debut album Ready to Die, released in 1994. This is the OG pressing that came out in 94. I'm so glad I got this because I used to have it back in the day. I remember buying it in 2001, and I lost the case obviously, and I had the CD, but I ended up giving my friend the CD because that same year in 2004 they came out the remastered version with the black sleeve, and then you pull it out. Comes with 19 tracks. Comes with the Dreams of Fucking R&B Bitch, and I forgot the other song that came out with. And it comes with the DVD with the live performances that he did like back in Atlanta and stuff like that. But I like this version a lot better. It's a little more gritty, my personal opinion. Especially this song, Ready to Die, the self-titled track. It just sounds better because on the remastered version, it sounds a little bit more. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, so like I was saying before, the self-titled track "Ready to Die," it just felt a little bit more I don't. It was arranged differently. It sounded a little bit more cleaner, whereas this one was more dirty, more gritty. I love that. So if you're gonna own this album, this is the best way to own it. I love this album. Everybody should know the singles. Warning, One More Chance, but it doesn't have the remix. Thank God for that. It's the original version. I love that version. Juicy, Big Papa, which I'm not a fan of. Juicy, I can't stand those songs. I like them, don't get me wrong, but I've heard them songs so many times growing up. It's like, oh my god. And I would even put Unbelievable as one of the singles as well. Classic album is my favorite album from Biggie. You know, I do like Laugh After Death, but I think it's a little overrated in my opinion. A little bit too much filler tracks for my taste. I did a review on that, I think like last year. Definitely check that out when you guys get a chance. And I want to give a big shout out to the whole Speaking Cloud podcast. We did a review. On this album with Portia of Apartment 5B. We did a review on that a couple months ago, or several months ago, I should say, rather. And we did that. But yeah, glad to own this joint. Thank you, Killer Taste 93 for that. Glad to own this joint, right? Ready to Die, Biggie. By Ready to Die, Biggie, released in '94. Next album. I'm so glad I got this joint right here. I'm gonna give a big shout out to my dude Junkyard Dog. I don't know where you at, but shout out to you, man. You definitely blessed me with this track right here. It is Nas. It was released in 1996. I already have this album, but there's a reason why I got this again. The reason I got this again is because of the bonus track, Silent Murders. Excuse me, which was a Canadian / European only track. Overseas track. It was like an exclusive, and I believe it was also only on the cassette version, the U.S. cassette version. And I think the reason why is because of the Soul to Soul sample they couldn't clear, so they only could sell it in the UK and I think Canada as well, because Soul to Soul being they're from the UK and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so glad I own this joint right here. Everybody should know the singles of this album. Street Dreams, If I Rule the World. The Message, I believe, was a single too. But I love this album. In my opinion, I know some people like to say Illmatic is his best album, but I personally think lyrically, I would say this is lyrically better than Illmatic. I know that's crazy to say. Yeah, man, he definitely stepped his pen game up on this album. The storytelling of this album is just very dope, and I love Illmatic, but it's just that Illmatic, it's just, oh my god, like these blogs, man, they just like over analyze Illmatic to the point where like it gets tiresome. It's like, oh my god, we get it. But this album is very dope. I know this album gets a lot of shit because of the whole Trackmasters production, but I want to give a big shout out to Kill, Apartment 5B. He said that if, you know, it like songs like, let's say, Suspect, Shootouts, you know, songs like Affirmative Action, if you didn't see Trackmasters do the if you didn't see their name on the track listing as far as like who did the beats, and you would have somebody else like a Lost Professor, or RZA, or Pete Rock, I think it would have been fared better. But because it's Trackmasters and that track record, you know, people kind of give this album a lot of shit, including myself. But then as I got older, I really started appreciating. I kind of like, overlooked that. You know what I mean? But this is such a great album, and to me, the best way to own the album is with the song "Silent Murder." It just ends the album completely, like in a complete way. Definitely expect me to do a review on the Nas albums. Just been mad busy with other stuff, you know, CD album, with other album reviews I want to get over, as well as like these CD collection videos and stuff like that. But definitely stay tuned. It definitely be worth your while. But this is a Nas that was written, released in 1996. This is the European version. Shout out to my dude Junkyard Dog for this shit right here. Alright. Next two albums, I want to give a big shout out to my dude Freddie Lugo. He blessed me with this joint, these two joints. I'm so happy to have them. It is Masta Ace with his second album, Disposable Arts, released in 2001. So glad I got this joint. This is the OG pressing. I'm so glad I got it. Shout out to him. The singles off this album are, I want to say, Understand. That was a single. Don't Understand. Excuse me. That was a single of the album. Standout tracks for me are Too Long, Block Episode, Take a Walk, Something's Wrong, Acknowledge, Enough, Unfriendly Games, Unfriendly Game, Alphabet Soup. I Like That. Type I Hate and No Regrets. Those are the songs that I like the most. Interesting story with this album. The song Acknowledge. In that song, that was a diss track towards the High and Mighty crew, which is DJ Mighty Mine and Mr. Eon. I believe they're from Philly, if I'm not mistaken. And they were at a show, I think in New York or something like that. And Cage, everybody should know Cage. Yes, same Cage. Agent Orange, Radiohead. Movies for the Blind. Hell's Winter. That same Cage. They were doing a live show somewhere, and what was heard from the person that went back to Masta Ace, which made him this High and Mighty. What he heard was fuck Masta Ace and fuck the Slaughterhouse. But what was said was, I'm pumping Masta Ace walking into a Jewish slaughterhouse. So, and that was Cage that said that. So, if anything, he was paying homage to Masta Ace, but Masta Ace, took it some type of way because the dude that what he thought was said, took shots. Then he ended up taking shots on at High and Mighty, Acknowledge, and then Mighty Mai, from High and Mighty, actually went back, hit up Masta Ace, got back with him, told him what happened. So from what I heard, Masta Ace actually went on Future Flavors, and he actually apologized to High and Mighty and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, I believe this was reissued, I want to say around 2014, and there was a documentary with the making of this album. So which is actually on YouTube. I definitely want to see that. Been meaning to see that, but just been mad busy with shit. So it's still on YouTube, so I definitely will check it out. But yeah, Disposable Arts for Masta Ace. This is his second album, and the reason I stress that is because a lot of people think, including myself, thought what Masta Ace incorporated Slaughterhouse that came out in '93 was his second album, but that was his group album. The same thing with Sitting on Chrome. So those were not Masta Ace albums, even though it felt more like Masta Ace albums, but it was just a group. So, but realistically, this is his second album. I'm still trying to get my hands on Take a Look Around, but that should go for stupid money. Trying to get the Traffic edition. I would love to get my hands on that. Even if I get the OG pressing, that would be dope. But I wanted to tell you guys, be careful with that, because there's the 95 reissue that Cold Chillin' put out, and they took out a song called Postin' High, which is actually my favorite song off the album. And them taking that song out kind of takes a disservice of having that album, in my personal opinion. So how you can tell is the reissue is it has like a star sticker, and I think it says Cold Chillin' Greatest. I forgot what it says, but that's the 95 reissue, and then they took out that song Postin' High, and I think it's because of sample clearance or some shit like that, which sucks because that to me is the best song off the album. But I definitely want to get my hands on the Traffic edition, but that goes for stupid money. So I'm gonna try my best and try to get it one day. But yeah, this is Masta Ace Disposable Arts, released in 2001. And another thing too with Masta Ace, very dope at doing concept albums, because this album, he it just talks about him getting out of prison. He goes into this like college, this institute, of Disposable Arts, which talks about like the ills of Brooklyn, and it's pretty dope, very dope. Alright, next album. It's the last album by Freddie Lugo. Shout out to him. It is Operation Get Down by Craig Mack. This is his second album. Recipe to Craig Mack. Operation Get Down. The singles off this album are What I Need, Style, and Jockin' My Style. Those are the 3 singles off the album. The only songs I like from this album, honestly, is like 4 songs out of 13, and it's not good. Is Jockin' My Style, Today's Forecast, Style, and You. Those are the singles off the album. This was off of Street Life Records. This was like right after, he left Bad Boy Records. And the story with that, the reason why he left Bad Boy Records was because of the fact that at the time he was with he had a manager he was managing at the time, and Puffy that Puffy and that Craig Mack's manager at the time didn't get along. So he gave Craig Mack an ultimatum, like, yo, if you don't drop in as a manager, I'm gonna have to leave you. I'm gonna have to take you off the label. So he's like, nah, fuck that. I'm not doing that. So, you know what I mean? And so that's why he left the record label and that kind of thing. And then also, too, with, Craig Mack being the first artist of Bad Boy Records to go platinum, and he didn't get a lot of shine, and all the attention was going towards Biggie, because he was like the cash cow of the group, of the record label, I should say. But, it's just unfortunate. But, horrible album, I would have to say. It's not this album, man. This album is a classic. This album, not so much. Not that good. And what's bad about it is executive produced by Eric B. of Eric B. and Rakim. So, it's just like a lot of R&B influenced tracks. It just does not sound good at all. And, and like, he tried to follow the Bad Boy syndrome. He followed the Biggie route. It just didn't work for him. It's like 97 for some reason when it comes to East Coast hip hop. Well, not all of East Coast, but cats try to do that and it just did not work for them. And that's pretty much it. Operation Get Down by Craig Mack, released in 1997. Also, he had dropped an album called the Mack World Sessions. They came out in I think in 2017, which is pretty much a collection of songs that he recorded between 2000 and 2006. But unfortunately, there's no physical copies of that. It's only you only can get it like digitally. You can get it on like Bandcamp or iTunes or whatever digital format that you can get it at. So I would love a physical copy of that, but can't get it, unfortunately. And I would say rest in peace to Craig Mack. It's unfortunate how he passed away. So once again, thanks for Freddie Lugo, and shout out to Junkyard Dog, and shout out to Killer Taste 93 for that. This next batch of CDs is by my guy Adam Lee, so I want to give a big shout out to him. Alright, out of North Cackalack. Next album is Awol and the Factor One with the Landmark. This was released I want to say 2004. Doesn't say. Oh, 2011. Excuse me. Thank you. 2011. Not sure who they are, but this album was okay. It wasn't my favorite song. It's not really my favorite. The singles off this album was Recognize Your Frenemies. Excuse me. Standout tracks for me are The Wasp, Don't Be Afraid, People on Drugs, Days Go By, and Rewind Yourself. But the thing with this album, it kind of has like that rap rock feel to it. It's more rock oriented, but with rapping, if that makes sense. And I'm not really a fan of that, unless you're like Limp Bizkit or Rage Against the Machine or somebody like that, or people like that. Or I wouldn't even say Korn. But this is just not that good. Didn't really care for it. I didn't really care too much about it. But this is it's alright. But this is Awol and Factor. This was released in 2011. The Landmark. Next is an EP called MoeGeeked with the Nickel Sack EP. This was released, I want to say in 2001, I think it was, or 2000. Let me see. It doesn't say, but I'm gonna be safe and say 2000. Not sure where they're from. But there's 5 tracks, like I said before. The standout tracks for me are Follow We, 21 About It, Smoke Some, and Twerk Some. Those are the standout tracks. We know it's the whole album, the whole EP. Would have loved an album from them, but they never did, unfortunately. But yeah, this is the Nickel Sack with MoeGeeked, released in 2001. It's decent, pretty good. Definitely has like a West Coast feel to it. Very dope. This album, so glad I got it. Next joint is Tribe Called Quest with revised Quest for the Seasoned Traveler by Tribe Called Quest, released in 1992. There's a very interesting story with this album. This compilation album, is pretty much songs, pretty much from the first 2 albums that were recorded. And this is not an American release, and that's the thing. This was an overseas release. It's like, this was more released in Canada and overseas. And if you were to get it in the United States, it would be like in limited quantities. Because if you see, it says BMG Music Canada. I don't know if you guys can see that. So this is a Canadian release. Yeah, this is good to have. It's not really the best stuff, like, because some of the songs are, some of it has like that, disco, not disco, but like techno house music kind of vibe to it, like some of the songs. But give me 1 second. Sorry about that. But to me, the standout tracks for me are Bonito, Applebaum, 12Y, Edit. Let's see what else. Check the Rhyme. The Mr. Muhammad mix was pretty dope. The Scenario Young Nation mix, I've heard that before. If the Papes Come remix, that was pretty dope. Butter Hip Hop mix, that was pretty dope. And the Bonito, Applebaum, Hootie mix was pretty dope too. It's a decent album. It's not the best material, but if you're a Tribe fan, definitely pick it up. It is hard to find because, like I said, it was only sold in Canada and overseas. But it's a good album. It's not their best material. It kind of reminds me of like the Third Base Cactus Revisited that I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. But it's kind of in the same vein as this, because like some of the songs have that. It's like techno remixes of some songs and stuff like that. But it's good to have, like, to add on to the Tribe collection. And that's it, folks. I'm gonna cut it short because I'm running out of time. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely stay tuned for more. Alright, peace.